going on, guys? So we're back again with another gameplay video. This time we have Neil here on the left playing Hellku, and we have Tyler here on the right playing SS4 Vegeta. So just before they get started into the gameplay video, I want to give a huge shout out to our sponsors. We got Team Card Titan. So if you guys want any DBS Seal products or DBS singles, make sure you check out that link in the description below. And for all the people in Australia and New Zealand, check out their auction page on Facebook as well. There's always something for collectors and there's always something for the players as well. Now, Hellku, pretty interesting deck. Yellow, I guess, isn't in the best spot at the moment, but this is a really cool deck. I really like the whole mechanic of flipping off the top, getting that early awaken. Some very, very powerful cards as well that come off the top of the deck, especially that SS4 Goku, and then also having the, I guess we'll call it like the Kid Ku with the Dragon Fist is very, very strong too. That card is absolutely insane with its Spirit Boost effect. Just means that if you don't have a negate, pretty much nothing's really working in your deck, unfortunately. But what we're going to do is ramp as much as we can with SS4 Vegeta, play out some big boys, okay? Now, I do know that Tyler is playing the Bo engine in this deck, so he is playing the 1 cost into 7 cost, which is pretty cool. It is a little bit different than, I guess, the generic list that we usually see. Tyler's playing with what he's got available, of course, but really, really powerful deck. Now, Neil going second, right? Sorry. Turn 1, we're going to hit our Unison, which is exactly what we want, just to get our plus going. Check the top. So what we do is figure out our draw for the swing, turn, and then we also have the flip off the top. And I'm pretty sure if I did see correctly, what we're going to do is we should be able to flip the SS4 off the top just there and get a double striker out straight away, which is quite nice. Now, passing on to Tyler's second turn, we're going to swing in here, hopefully having like an IAR, but it looks like we are going to take it up to 20k, so having an ape. We then do get to flip a Zeno super combo, potentially paying the 2 to draw 2 cards just there. Looking like we're just going to pass turn instead. I'm pretty sure that's 8, so I'm surprised he didn't just go for pay 2, draw 2. Unfortunately, as I said, Tyler doesn't have all the IARs, so he's only got, I think, 1. So he is relying on other cards, of course, to get your combos and things out. So that's the downside. I feel like that card really makes the deck so ridiculously strong. Most people aren't comboing out of a 25k on the front. Otherwise, they're losing a lot of cards. If people negate, of course, it's not too bad, only losing 1 card. But otherwise, it kind of sucks. So what he needs to do here is try to get everything set up properly. Hopefully. Maybe not. Maybe we're not going to get our flip. Hopefully we are, though. So we got a trip from hell. Paying 1. Revealing, so drawing 2, placing 1 on top of the deck, which we can put that guy on the top of the deck. And then we do just need a Spirit Boost, which hopefully we have a 1 cost. So we're going to put him on the deck, mill it. Sorry, my apologies. Yes, Trip to Hell does mill as well. So he's going to get the mill, get to play out that guy, get his blocker, and then he can get his Awaken going nice and early as well, because he did flip 1 off the top, which is awesome. So what he's going to do now is be a 15. Go down to, I believe it's 5. If I remember correctly, I believe it's 5. So pick up a couple cards as well, have a decent hand going, and get 1 energy back, which is great. So now he's got access to regular Spirit Boost as well on the leader. So we're going to swing in leader into leader, draw 2, place 1 on top. Decent hand just here though. Looks like we're going to top deck as a Masu super combo, one of the ones we just drew, which is okay. So I guess it's nothing specific that we're putting on the top just here, which kind of sucks, but that's okay. And then just passing turn. Now we do have access to a blocker here, which is great too, and it's 19k if I remember correctly. So this, I guess every turn. So what if we get swung in? We can just block if we know it's not going to die. But we're going to hit Zeno, draw a card, swing it into leader. I'm assuming here we block straight away. Drawing a card. Once again, we're at like at least 4, so it's not too bad. Sadly, no boos in our energy just yet, but I would probably say we do want to clear this if we can straight away. Just get it off the board, because this is a really strong. But Let's see what he decides. Gonna let it go here. 2 apes in drop now. I'm assuming we pay 2. Let's draw some cards. Why not? Start to refuel our hand a little bit. Passing turn back over. So what Neil just needs to do is just keep finding cards that he can put on the top of his deck, right? So this stacking 3 obviously helps quite a bit. It's not always, I guess, perfect, right? Because there's not that many. I feel like maybe they need to release like 1 or 2 more cards that we can do it does the stack. That we can stack on the top to get flipped and played, all right? I feel like that's the ideal thing. Unfortunately, there's just not a hell of a lot that we can do here with the flip. There's only, I believe, 8, if I remember, which isn't enough. That is definitely not enough. I feel like we need a few more, and then I think this deck would be a lot stronger than it is now. So hopefully in future they do put some more mill targets that we can actually use. And I feel like similar to like the SS4 style, like double strike, or give something like critical or something like that on play is quite impactful. It's not just like a card you flip and like, yeah, that's cool. It needs to be something that is impactful. So we have got a Boo finally, which is quite nice. Now we do have the energy, of course, to play out this Boo chain. We do have a Gohan in drop, which we can put another one in there as well if we wish. Very strong as well. So this may get a negate. Let's see how he goes. So swinging into leader. Good thing is, of course, if Tyler does an IAR behind it, we've also got access to our own final flash, which I can see in Neil's hand. So we're not going to take a life. We're just going to play out a token, which is okay. I respect that too. Now, I'm pretty sure on the swing of the Boo, I'm pretty sure we get to eat a card as long as a Gohan is underneath, if I remember correctly. Now, I haven't read that card in a very, very long time. It may happen after the battle, but we do get a draw from the swing of the leader. Tyler's just realizing I don't think he did that. So drawing from the swing of the leader, being able to pay 1, hopefully, for a Boo, and then pay, I believe it's the 3 energy for that Boo to come out as well would be quite nice for him. So yeah, exactly what we're going to do. Pay 1. Drawing a card. So Neil just having a read. They're just chatting about it. I'm assuming at this point he does have access to his counterplays. Okay. So he probably has access to a counterplay for the 7-drop Boot anyway, that we can just rest it so it's not even going to get its swing through. But I still think it's worth getting it out probably onto the board anyway. We've got to attempt it at least, got to force the opponent to have it. But it is going to eat that counterplay just there. So paying the 3, placing in the drop area, and then I think what we're going to do is we're going to grab the Majin Buu from our energy, place the Gohan underneath, right? Does come in rested. Scary thing is as well is obviously a lot of yellow KOs in rest mode, which is quite scary. All right, so the fact that we can kind of get rid of it in rest mode is pretty crazy. So if he gets something that's going to flip off the top, or he has access to the Dragon Fist Goku, he can kind of clear this a little bit early if he needs. So we're going to do, yes, place that in energy, bring the Boo out, and then put a Gohan underneath it as well. So quite nice for him. And then we will be passing turn there, I would assume, because we've not got any more swings on the board. So as long as Neil can't clear this, is 2 triple strikers coming into the leader, which is quite strong. He does have a blocker in the form of the counterplay, which is quite nice. But I'm pretty sure, and again, I can't remember exactly right, but I do believe that the Boo on the swing, I believe it can get rid of a card on the board. So what we can do is we can just get rid of the blocker before it triggers, if that's the way it reads. I can't remember 100% exactly how it reads. So depends on the wording of the actual text on it, if we can get rid of that blocker on the swing, or if it happens after or something. But again, Neil's in a pretty good position here. We're at 4 energy. We've got a lot of markers on our unison. If we have access to a Dragon Fist, which I believe is stacked down lower like a few times. So I'm pretty sure at this point we should be able to draw into it, which I think we just drew into just then. I was going to say I'm pretty sure it was very, very close to the top of the deck, which is great. So he's now got that in hand. And that being a dual attack double striker, very strong. Now we're going to hit a trip to hell. And we're going to hit this SS4, which is great. So 1 energy, and we're going to KO this Boo straight away, which is another card, another great card I was thinking about. So this is one of the probably the best ones to mill off the top. Again, I feel like we need something similar for the deck. Just another, as I said, 1 or 2 more cards that do a similar sort of thing that come out. It would always be good. Of course, Yellow's gimmick is always doing things in rest mode. It would be nice to have Hellku do something that's not necessarily in rest mode. It doesn't always give you that, but we are going to hit, it looks like, a Heroic Prospect. So this kind of stops the whole Dragon Fist Goku, right? Which is quite nice. So looks like he's deciding against it, going for the untap instead. Okay, interesting. So what you want to do, right? This is the thing. Against this Goku, you need to have the hard negate. You can't have a body negate at all because they're not going to work on that swing, right? So what he needs to do is he should have gone for the Heroic Prospect just then. So then if he did decide to swing, he would have to bottom deck cards, okay? But now we only have access to the Prospect if we don't have access to another D-Mag or something like that in hand, okay? So now we're not going to be able to negate it as easily. So it looks like we're going to swing in potentially a 10k into 10. I believe Tyler's at 4 life, so he can do the Awaken. Neil just having to think here. I think probably going to 10 to the 10. Why not, hey? Opponent probably Awakening. Unfortunately, there's no combo on the yellow. I believe the yellow and blue are the 2 that don't have combo, which kind of sucks. Going for the flip, untapping. Sorry, not untapping, just drawing. No untaps with this deck. It already has enough energy. I don't think it really needs untaps as well. Of course, we've got lots of other things that do that for us. Now, Neil having access to, it looks like a Basil, and then also having access to the Dragon Fist Goku. Now, it wouldn't surprise me here if he goes for the Dragon Fist Goku. Okay, so it looks like we're going to go for the Trunks instead. So he can check the top. Or is it a draw one? I think this one is a Spirit Boost. I'm pretty sure he can Spirit Boost. And then what he can do is play one of the ones from the top. So it gives you that Spirit Boost. So we draw one, put one back on top. And then we can Spirit Boost, if I remember correctly, which is quite nice as well. Obviously, having that access to regular Spirit Boost is really needed in this deck. So this Unison is not... The Unison is not really a threat. I think the threat is all of the Spirit Boost effects, right? That's the hard thing, is that all the Spirit Boost effects just play out so many battle cards or just have really devastating effects when they're actually used, okay? So keeping that Unison kind of clear is important, but the Unison itself isn't the scary part of the deck at all. I think it's one of those, like, it's like a trap sometimes. If you can clear it early and clear it easily, great. If not, it kind of is a really unfortunate. So it looks like we're going to swing in, activating a blocker here, which is quite nice for him, obviously not having the threat of a ramp. Now, Neil may decide to defend it, even, because it is a 15 to a 14. He may decide to defend it, which he's going for. He's just going to defend it with the Trunks, just to have that blocker consistently every turn to stop this from happening. We're going to pay 2, draw 2. Again, Vegeta doing what it does. Got fat hand, which is great. Having access to quite a bit of energy. I think Tyler's only ramped, I believe, only once, which is, look, at the same time, it's not a hell of a lot, but it's still enough. I think if you get like a couple of ramps early, you're in a pretty good situation straight away because you're already up on the opponent. We are going to go for the 1 energy, draw a card. Potentially going into another Boo because we do have one there in energy, and we have a beautiful SBR sitting in there just waiting for us to get played out, right? And we do have the Gohan as well in the drop area, which is great, and we can sack another one if we really need to. So it looks like we are going to go into the Boo. So we're going to pay for it. We can go and drop a Gohan. And then we can hit into the Boo just here, right? So, great card as well. I really like this Boo. Quite powerful. So we're going to grab that out, place in energy, place a Gohan underneath, right? So we're thinning the deck a little bit of the Gohans as well. It is a good card as well that we can play out. So untapping, now we have access to, I believe it's a 25k triple striker just here, which is good for him as well. 25k triple strike, very strong. So swinging that, I'm assuming into leader. I don't think we're going to swing it anywhere else. Again, maybe put some combo behind it, just take it up a little bit. But what he's going to do is, yes, so it is on swing that he gets to, I guess, absorb a card, just like that. And what would be nice, so if the blocker was still there, he would be able to do that too. So the fact that he's got to go hunt underneath allows him to absorb a card, and it must be on the swing, right? So, and then he untaps. So we are going to, unfortunately, get access to our Zamasu super combo, so tap it down. And then we have access to our Poutine that we can play out as well, right? Which is great here for him. No counter, so no untap on the leader, but we are 25 to 25. And then Neil just deciding to take the triple strike damage. So surprising he didn't go for the tap out to just combo out of it. But maybe he wants access to some of these other super combos. I'm not too sure if he runs Krillin at all. There is that potential that he does run a Krillin. But now Tyler, unfortunately, having that card in rest mode is susceptible to a lot of yellows effects because they do KO a lot of time in rest mode, right? So let's see what Neil can actually get here. Hopefully he can get another Goku off the top to just kill it, but I know he does have access to the Dragon Fist one as well. So we are going to plus top 3. All right. Sorry, we went for the minus. So we went for the minus there. My apologies. I was wondering why we drew 3 and then stacked 2 back on top. So we went for the minus, draw 3, stack 2 back on top. And then what he did is he put the SS4 Goku on top and got the mill, which is great. So get that KO very, very easily just there. Because I was going to say that was one of the cards I think we saw him draw. I thought he was just checking with the plus, but he was going for that. Now, once again, access to a double strike like that is so strong. We're going to go for the chilled. Get ourselves a negate. We're going to rest it though because it is played with a skill, which is quite nice for Poutine there. So there's no access to the blocker. Again, I'm hoping that Tyler, in that fat hand that he has just there, has access to some hard negates and not just has access to like the body negates like the Heroic Prospect. Okay, so I really hope he does have a few more hard negates. Now Basil easily getting that effect, right? So he's going to be able to plus and get the dual attack swings coming through, which is great. So swinging once, just for a 19. Forcing Bean. Okay, so we're going to protect with the Bean, which is fair enough, because we know there's another 19 coming through. But now we have access to potentially a Chilled to pay energy for as well, because we've got 2 energy just there. Now, let's see what Neil decides to do. He can tap out, go for his Goku. So we're going to draw 2 and stack 1 back on top. I think he went for a Unison on top rather than going for the Goku. I'm assuming here because he wants to play out the Dragon Fist with that 3 energy. That's what I'm thinking. And I don't see why not at this point. I think it's worth it. So being able to pick up an energy here. So pick up first before you place down. So pick up, place down, and he's going to put a Bojack just there. Now, the good thing is if he does have a Galactic Buster and things like that in hand, that can happen because it does occur after the battle, right? So he can do his bottom deck and everything after the battle because the card only states during the battle you can't use card effects. I believe the energy cost is 7 or less or something like that. But Bojack and everything happens after the battle. He's restood, it's fully resolved, and then you can hit it off that effect, which is quite nice. So potentially has access to his Galactic Buster. But if I was Neil, I think you'd still play into it, right? Because I think he has 2 in hand, if I can see. I think he's got the 2 in hand. So he may go for 1 this turn and then establish a second one next turn, potentially, right? Having 2, I think he's got 3 in hand, actually, it looked like just there. So he has access to them quite easily and quite readily available. So if it does get dealt with on this turn, it's not the end of the world, right? He can just establish another 2 next turn if he wants, because I'm pretty sure it's not a limit 1 on the play. And he can do his Spirit Boost and everything as well, which is great. So let's see what he's going to go for here. I'm assuming we're going to go for the Dragon Fist. Nice double strike, dual attack. It's always very strong. Yep, so we're going to go for the Dragon Fist just here. KOing the blocker or the token. Spirit boosting. And then swing it in. Now, let's see if Tyler has access to a hard negate, which I think I can see a Dimension Magic there on top. Because he won't have access to anything else during that swing. So, unless he's got Galactic Buster in hand, which if he has Galactic Buster, that would be probably the preferable thing. You may take the double strike. But it looks like we're going to just go for the D-Magic. Just protect ourselves here, which I respect that too. You don't want to, I guess, be losing out to this card, and especially knowing that Neil, obviously, he doesn't know that, but we can see Neil has a few more in hand, so he can potentially establish another one next turn, right? So it looks like we're going to swing in a 19 again. So remember, it's 19 to 20. So Neil does have to combo up, which to me, I don't feel like it's really too worth it. I think I would have just left it in active mode, right? Probably no point getting him to, I guess, lose 1-for-1 cards. It's not really too worth it because a 19 to a 20. So it looks like we're going to Heroic Prospect. So, sorry, that is why he didn't Heroic Prospect before. My apologies. Yes, I just remembered that it does require a Unison on the board to actually get the Heroic Prospect out for 1 energy, and I'm assuming that's why he couldn't have done it before, and he did go for his Dimension Magic. Once again, though, I feel like it's really important to get, or to, I guess, hold on to your Dimension Magics, or whatever you're using, whatever deck you're playing, just hold on to the hard negates during those battles, right? Because that's where it's really important. So it looks like we're comboing up. So, yeah, we're going to combo up into the leader, but unfortunately I think he didn't realize that he didn't have untapped energy, so the power of a Super Saiyan wouldn't have been free, because I believe you can only get the activate battle for free when you have an untapped yellow energy, but he doesn't have any untapped, so that one wouldn't have been free just there, so he wouldn't have had his draw off it. But Tyler's still having to combo out because it's still quite a bit of damage pushing through, I guess. I think maybe he's at 2, maybe. I'm not 100% sure. Maybe he is at 2, and that's why he's kind of combo out. If not, probably would have just taken the single damage, and it would have been okay. For the next turn, we would probably been all right. So let's see what he gets here from the draw. He's got quite a bit of energy. So we're at 7 energy just here now. So we're in Turning the Tide territory. The other good thing is obviously the Roshi as well for 6. Be able to bottom deck some cards would be quite nice for him right now. I'm assuming we're swinging into a leader once again. Gonna go for our block. This time we just leave it at 15. It doesn't really matter too much. You just let it go, I think. At this point, he doesn't really care about the ramp either. I think 7 energy is more than enough. And if we have like a Vegeta or something, we can get the top 4 on ramp a little bit more if we need to as well. But at this point, probably don't really care too much about the ramps. So I think you just go 15 to 14. And if Neil wants to protect it, he can lose a card from hand, which is worth it for you as well. So swinging into, I'm assuming leader. Not too sure if the other battle resolved. I think maybe they forgot. I'm pretty sure the Vegeta should be gone because I didn't see Neil combo at all. And it's a 15 to a 14, unless I just unfortunately missed it, which may have happened. But swinging in, I'm assuming into leader just here. Looks like we're going to combo in. I'm not too sure what Neil's at. I'm surprised that we didn't play the 6 cost Vegeta just here. Being able to just pick up 4 cards off the top of our deck or potentially ramp would have been very strong. Maybe he's going to Turning the Tide. Yep, so he's going for Turning the Tide, and that's why. So he was just like, I'll combo it off. That's fair enough. Force some damage through. I don't believe he's at 1, though. I think he's at more than 1. Now, Tyler, good that he didn't shuffle his drop area back in. So usually what you want to do, if you're going to Turning the Tide, Usually what you want to do is turn in the tide first, and then you swing in with the leader so you can get your draw. Just get one card. Unfortunately, haven't got too much of a board just here, because what he's doing now is, I guess the scary thing is, regardless of him having no cards in hand, both players, Neil has established a hell of a board, right? Which means that he's more than likely going to be able to close it out next turn, unless he is at the 1 life, which he is. So very unfortunate just there. He was at the 1 life. I thought maybe he was at a bit more. But there we go. Turning the tide actually did turn the tide just there, right? It's such a strong and powerful card. It's absolutely ridiculous as well. Obviously has deflect too, so he's not getting hit by the counter plays, which is quite nice. But there we go. SS4 Vegeta taking that one from Hellku. As I said, I think Hellku just needs a few more cards to flip off the top, and it would be a really, really good deck. Still super fun to play. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, please remember to subscribe, hit that bell to stay notified, and I'll catch you guys on the next one.